The title isn't lying. I really do think Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition is the worst mainline Pokemon game in the series, and in my opinion definitely worse than Pokemon Red and Blue. Anyways, let me tell you exactly why I think this way. The first victim of the making uncommon Pokemon less rare is Abra. Abra in Red and Blue was on Route 24 and 25 and the game corner. You could get it early, but with its low encounter rate means you might not find it until the game corner if ever. It's also in 2 routes super close and is only in fields of grass, which gives you the reward of being able to use the broken Alakazam. In Yellow you can find it on routes 5, 6, 7, 8 and the game corner. It is hard to miss Abra with its encounter rates being 15 to 25% compared to the flat 15% in Red and Blue. It's still broken, but now it's way more easy to get. Victim 2 are the 2 Nidorans. In Pokemon Red they're on Route 22 and the Safari Zone, which makes it a cool reward for exploring the map and finding Route 22 early, giving you a super strong early game Pokemon. In Yellow they're on Route 2, 9, 10, 22 and the Safari Zone. These guys are no longer rare powerhouses, and now they're just a OP easy to get early game Pokemon. The final victim is Jigglypuff. In Red and Blue it's on Route 3 and it's only a 10% chance, making it easily missable. Granted, it is the only new Pokemon on that route, but still it's a small route that's easy to miss. But since Jigglypuff got so much attention in the anime, he got spammed in Pokemon Yellow. Hell, Jiggs even got into Smash, and don't get me wrong, I like Puff, she's my secondary in Smash, but in Yellow it's on Route 5, 6, 7 and 8. Unlike the other two, Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff aren't great in battle. It has a high HP stat and coverage, but because it was big in the anime it's shoved in your face. My problem, believe it or not, is not that they made the Pokemon less rare, it's the Pokemon they picked to do that. They could have picked super rare Pokemon like Tauros, Chansey, Mr. Mime and Jinx. We got Jigglypuff, Abra and Nidoran, which is disappointing. This is much more of a nitpick, but it's still a point. The Pikachu, unlike Let's Go's partner Pikachu, has the same stats as any normal Pikachu. A 320 base stat total, with every stat being bad except its decent speed. The partner Pikachu has a great speed stat, okay damage, but mediocre defenses. If that was it for the partner Pikachu it wouldn't be great, but it also gets its signature moves, which might be the most broken moves in all of Pokemon. Even though he has half the moves of Eevee and a lot less broken ones, Pikachu's partner moves are nothing to laugh at. Pikachu's Zing Zap is a +2 priority 50 power move that always crits, which if it was in anything but Let's Go would be broken. Floaty Fall is pretty tame, being a 90 base power move with a 30% flinch chance, but it's good coverage on grass as well as flinching semi-consistently. Splishy Splash is a 90 base power water move that has a 30% para chance. Finally, he has Pika Pow Pow, that is just a nuke that comes online when it feels like it. The Pikachu in Yellow follows you around, and if you click on him he makes a face. You can't evolve it, so it's just pointless, especially because you can get all 3 starters in the game. People give Johto shit for having terrible gym leaders, which they do, lacking Gen 2 Pokemon until Price, but Pokemon Yellow might be worse because at least some Gen 2 fights have difficulty. The first 2 badges are very similar. Brock's levels go down by 2 for each of his Mons. Geodude loses Defense Curl and Onyx gains Bind. Misty's Yellow fight is actually harder, with it being the same as Red and Blue, but in Yellow Starmie gets hardened. Surge is when shit goes south. His Red and Blue team has a Voltorb who can do decent damage with Sonic Boom. Pikachu has Thunder Shock, Thunder Wave and Quick Attack, making it okay. Raichu is super strong with Thunderbolt, meaning you basically need a tanky Grass Mon or a ground type. In Yellow he has 1 level 28 Raichu. Sure, he has strong Thunderbolts, Mega Punches and Mega Kicks, but it's one Pokemon. You are required to get the Dig TM to get to Vermilion, so you will have a 100 base power super effective move with a strong ground Pokemon or just a strong Pokemon. Erica in Red and Blue has 2 fully evolved Pokemon with Sleep Powders and the strong Petal Dance. In Yellow it feels like a 3rd gym team with higher levels plus Poison Stab. Koga's Red and Blue team with respectable damage with Sludge and Smoke Screen and Minimize Cheese. In yellow it's 3 Venonats with decent move sets sure, but it's still 3 Venonats. The Venomoth is level 50, which is stupid. The 5th gym leader in yellow is the same level as the champion in Johto. They don't even have any damaging poison moves. Instead they all have toxic psychic and 2 other random moves. Sabrina is super challenging in red and blue with 4 strong Pokemon with screens for bulk and can cripple your team with stun spore as well as healing. They literally had to nerf the Alakazam by giving it Psybeam instead of Psychic like the Kadabra. In yellow it's the whole Abra line. It's basically 2 Pokemon though because Abra only has Flash. The other 2 are strong sure, but you can just set up on Abra and sweep the other 2, making it trivial. Blaine is the 2nd of 3 gym leaders in yellow that are better than their red and blue counterparts. I feel trading a Growlithe and Ponyta for a strong Ninetales as well as having Reflect on Arcanine. The red and blue team has only normal and fire moves, so any strong rock type can handle it. Giovanni's team in red and blue is weak because Dugtrio is the only ground move besides Fisher. The yellow team is actually really good with strong stab plus thunder and double kick. Persian is just here for anime and is useless. The leaders were so bad because they were following the anime and just blatantly adding Pokemon. Sabrina never used Alakazam and Koga only had 1 Venonat. Lorelei sucks in both games, but Cloyster improved and Amnesia Surf Psychic is super scary if you let it set up. Bruno is about the same, but the Onyxes have real movesets and Fire Punch on Hitmonchan. Agatha is worse in yellow because while the 2nd Gengar may be better than the Gengars in red and blue, the 1st yellow Gengar is so bad it drags down the whole team. The Arbok and Golbats are mid and Wantair is just okay. The Lance team in yellow is a decent amount better with a much better Dragonite, Dragonairs and Ariodaclys, and the Gyaradosis are fine in both. The champ fight in red and blue is in most cases just a upgraded version of the yellow team. Sandslash is worse than Rhydon. The grass, fire and water Pokemon are better than the fire, water and electric Pokemon on yellow, and Alakazam is a goat. Overall, in most cases the yellow fights are worse than the red and blue fights. Overall, Pokemon Yellow is barely worse than red and blue. The game did some good things like improved sprites and move pools, but the things it does bad is slightly worse than the good, making it the worst Pokemon game. Also, if you guys want a Discord server, I'll make one if I can get one mod. There's a Google form if you're interested. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. So until next time.